Bum 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 bum. Hey Star Wars fans, it's your old friend Dominic Tringale again here with issue 21 of the Star Wars Build the Millennium Falcon model kit by D. Agostini. This, like I said, is issue 21. $10.99 with every issue after the first, so that brings the grand total to €223.30. Yeah, so beautiful blue color here. Yeah. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. So first thing is first, we have this Incom T-16 Skyhopper. So that is Luke's ship that he flew when he was just a bush pilot on the Outer Rim. So what do we know about the Incom T-16 Skyhopper? Well, it's by Incom Corporation, obviously. It says here 14,500 credits new, 6,000 used. Height 12 meters, length 10.4, maximum altitude 300 meters, maximum speed 1,200 kilometers in atmosphere. Has a E16 ion engine and two DCJ 45 repulsor generators, customizable weapon platform, maximum cargo capacity of 50 kilos, one crew, one passenger. So this was originally, they were going to have, a scene in the original script for A New Hope where Luke would be flying it, but they had to scrap that for budgetary reasons, and all we get to see instead is Luke playing with his model, or playing with his, toy, I guess, of his T-16. He apparently, in the backstory, he damaged it in some sort of drag race, and his uncle grounded him, and you kind of see it in the background, but you don't actually see him flying it at all. Very, very interesting. So, this backstory of why Luke is such a good pilot is, he actually did a lot of flying in this thing. It was the ship that he used to bullseye womp rats with. Which, by the way, two problems I have here. Okay, number one, womp rats are slightly bigger than 2 meters. Dude, if you live on a planet where rats are over 2 meters long, that's not a planet you should be hanging out on. All right, like he says when they're planning for their run on the Death Star, the trench run, they're saying that nobody can hit a target that's only that big. But he said he used to bullseye womp rats, and they're not much bigger than 2 meters. Jesus Christ, man, that's scary. And second of all, he's just flying this thing around Tatooine, shooting rats. Okay, I mean, I guess Tatooine's not necessarily the most interesting planet to live on, but dude, that's serial killer behavior, man. Killing animals for fun. I mean, if he was doing it for food or something, I'd be like, okay, he eats 2 meter rats, cool. But he just shoots rats for fun. That's pretty screwed up, man. Obviously, this is a ship that has a lot of maneuverability. In the video game, you could actually buzz by Jabba's palace, as you can see from this image here. That's from the video game. Yeah. So, so just a bunch of stuff about the T-16. Kind of actually an interesting read because it's a ship we don't know much about. But yeah, this model that he's playing with, this toy, that was the model they were going to use for the film, so they didn't want to throw it in the garbage. So they decided to use it as a prop in the actual film. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to move from one small settlement on Tatooine to another, this would probably be the perfect ship to get around with. Yeah. So then we go to Felucia, which the planet Felucia has 2 moons, a rotation period of 34 standard hours, 231 local days to a year, going around the moon Felix, nearby planet of Renvar. We only ever see this planet one time in the films. during Order 66, when the clone troopers start gunning down their Jedi commanders. We see that there was this Twi'lek Jedi who was living on, or not living, well, she was on the planet Felucia, and gets shot down. Very jungle, Vietnam-ish planet. I think that was actually, if I remember correctly, reading this article, that was their inspiration, was the jungles of Vietnam. But apparently, like all things recently with these magazines, a lot of stuff about this planet can be found in the Clone Wars animated series. So another one of those things I have to check out one of these days. Okay, so and the native people of this planet are like these turtle-looking guys. Native species called jungle Felucians, primitive amphibian scientists, largely kept to themselves. You know, whatnot. Again, something that would only come up if I actually watched the animated series. And then we have this article, Secrets of Spaceflight, talking about maintenance bays. You know, obviously, the Millennium Falcon is kind of a hodgepodge of parts and pieces put together, and so maintenance becomes an issue. There's no standard guide to keeping the Millennium Falcon going. It's just kind of mishmashed together. So obviously they do a lot of work on the ship itself. We have this aerial view, top-down cutaway, showing the maintenance bays themselves. Very interesting stuff. External access, interior maintenance, stuff like that. Talking about this article behind the scenes where they were actually, for The Empire Strikes Back, reimagining the interiors of the Millennium Falcon because it was going to play a much larger role in the film. Blah, 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 blah. Talking about some hand tools, we have this Hydra spanner and this fusion cutter that we see Han and Chewie playing with when they're trying to repair the ship on Hoth. So this, as far as articles go, not a lot of stuff here. Nothing I found too interesting. And then of course we jump into this green section, and let me see, where is my bag of parts? Here it is. So, yep, issue 21 comes with this bag marked 21, obviously. So let's tear this open and see what I find inside. Okay, great. Okay, so biggest to smallest, we have this whole piece marked BP01, so bottom plating number 1. Not doing anything with that today. That will just get put to the side, like a lot of pieces we get, recently at least. This, another piece of framing. Again, we're not going to do anything with this today. I was kind of surprised because we got 2 pieces last time. I thought we were going to actually put 3 more pieces to the frame, but that's not going to happen today. So these pieces too, they're going to go to the side, nothing to do with them. The only thing we're working with today is this little bag of parts right here. Kind of boring, I suppose, but these are going to be the side padding that's going to go on this piece that we've been working on the last couple of issues. So let me tear this open and see what we got. So I have this sprue of pieces and I have a diagram, and it shows me where exactly these pieces are going to go. Apparently I'm only going to be putting pieces on this side of the hull, and I assume I'll be doing the other side of the hull the next time around. So kind of lackluster as far as this issue goes. Again, kind of disappointed, but they can't all be winners, I suppose, ladies and gentlemen. So let me start clipping these out and putting them into place, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. Great. So after issue 21, I put in these 8 pads into the corridor, and it now looks like this. It used to look like this, but now it's got really nice contrast with the gray against the white and the hulls. It's looking really cool, actually. So issue 22, it looks like I'll be getting the other side pads for the other side, and maybe some pads for somewhere else, because it looks like there's a lot more pads than 8. So I assume some of these pads will be used for something else. I'll also be getting another framing piece. I don't know if that means I'm finally going to be putting some frame in. We'll have to see what happens. I sure hope so, because this video is going to be really short as is. Alright guys, since the video is so short, I couldn't even come up with a question. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do my normal thing where I ask you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button so you can show the channel some love, and throw some comments down below if you have anything to say about this project so far. Alright guys, take care. I'll see you for issue 22.